Mic'd up with Mikey Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, but he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, as everyone's sitting around, who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad Jones. 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think I'm going to practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello, welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today is Friday, April 25th. Loosey Goosey Friday here at our home, IndigoPapers.com. Go check them out. It's a perfect weekend. It's been raining all week, right? This weekend's not supposed to rain. So take advantage of the good weather. Bring in some good vibes. IndigoPapers.com. Any of your anything that you like to dabble in, they have them. Flour, they have it. Seltzer, THC seltzer drinks, they have it. Those are their bread and butter, the money maker. You can get them at Rouse's, anywhere that you frequent. I don't know if anywhere. Rouse's, I know for sure they're in Rouse's.
There you go. And
right?
IndigoPapers.com.
IndigoPapers.com. You can go get them and order them there if you don't really want. I mean, now everybody wants Instacart. You can get them delivered right to your door.
I'll bring them.
I don't know if you want Lloyd at your door, but we're here.
I want to rip the G, brother.
That'd be an aggressive. Maybe. Hey, you got fans out there. We've seen them.
Yeah, it happens.
We've seen them. We've seen them. But we're here live from our studio, Indigo Papers, Loosey Goosey Friday. Jay Mitch is doing his real job out there in Charlotte, SEC Network, but he is joined in as he always does. Lloyd Courtney is behind the mic and the cameras and the computer, producing. And we have a special guest, co-host of the show of the day, right? Chris Phillips, founder of SEC Unfiltered. They have a lot bigger presence. The only reason you're here is because your presence, right? Right.
At least I'm here. That's
he's here.
I'll take
We're
it.
gonna we have a big show for you today. Obviously, today is the day that everybody has been looking forward to. At least up until Wednesday, I think people now aren't looking forward to it. They're trying to admit that they're not looking forward to it, even though they are. They want to panic after a 10-run loss in the midweek. But today is the start of the LSU-Tennessee series. Obviously, a monumental series. It is a series that is going to be extremely energetic, extremely feisty, and hopefully the baseball lives up to the hype. SEC baseball in general has a big weekend. Texas A&M going to Texas. Most storylines probably of any matchup of the year, with the one former coaching staff now at Texas A&M going play their former staff in Texas, the number one team in the SEC, number one team in the country as of now. So we're going to have all that conversation going on. But before we get to the baseball conversation, let's run through some of the things that happened in the sports world. Obviously, the NFL draft was last night. As I give a little round of applause for Will Campbell, 4th overall pick to the New England Patriots. Interview was nails, as he always does. Felt like when they signed Mike Vrabel, it's the perfect matchup between Mike Vrabel and Will Campbell personality-wise. Drake May showed that he is a guy. Now he's got his left tackle. Congratulations to him. New Orleans Saints made a upgraded New Orleans Saints pick. I like the pick. Obviously, your offensive line sucked last year. Your left tackle that you drafted probably is a right tackle. Now you can move over that way. Kelvin Banks from Texas, arguably the top offensive lineman in the draft. We all obviously believed it was Will Campbell. Kelvin Banks is the first pick for the Saints, and he will slot in there at that left tackle position. Now you got really good left tackle, supposedly. Eric McCoy, great center. And then Fuaga, who was pretty good last year as a rookie, moves over to right tackle, which is probably his more comfortable spot. The wild card is Trevor Penning. 6'7" guards. You don't really see those very often. We shall see what they do with him. But they have a lot of picks tonight. They have the 40th pick in the draft. Some quarterbacks still on the board. Are they going to end up going quarterback with their second rounder, or are they going to do stay status quo and try to grab a quarterback in the mid-rounds and let them sit the bench for a couple years and release them like they normally do? We have 2 of those on the roster right now. We had one before that from Notre Dame, Ian Book. That guy stunk. He's not there, so we'll see what happens. But a lot of football conversations. Obviously, Mason Taylor's still on the board. You'd imagine he's probably going to go today at some point. And so, yeah, got a lot of conversations to be had. But the main conversation is baseball. Chris, welcome to the show, dude. First
Mikey,
time
what's up,
you've
man?
been on the show. First time actually in person in studio. First time at Alex Box Stadium for a game. You came for the football season, so you saw the football side, which was awesome. You came for the Ole Miss game, right?
Yeah, Ole Miss. Yeah.
So-
rush the field.
So you were there.
Rush the field there. Yeah.
You were there for a pretty big game.
Yeah, got a hell of an experience.
You
Yeah.
kind of cherry picked this one, which is good. You
yeah,
picked the right
yeah.
one.
This one was circled from before the season started.
Yeah,
Like,
give me what are you looking most forward to for of the weekend? Obviously the
just
atmosphere, but then the game
yeah,
itself.
I mean the atmosphere has got to be tops, right? I mean you talk about because I came in the fall and saw a scrimmage and the smell of bourbon filled the air then just for an inter squad.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see what is this place like on a Friday night. Obviously the fact we get the luxury of the 7 o'clock first pitch tomorrow night. What the tailgating scene is like. I've heard the RVs have been out there parked for days, which for college baseball is just fucking awesome.
we have an RV out there.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
That's where our tailgate's
That's the
gonna be,
tailgate.
RV.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the party box. That's what
you
it's
know
called.
what? I'm so if I have to pick something outside of atmosphere, it might go hand in hand with atmosphere. I'm excited just to experience like what LSU baseball fans are like, and I know they're and I'm not happy they got run ruled in the midweek, but I'm happy they're going to be pissed off.
Yeah.
I would have it no other way. I want
Right.
like a nasty, upset, angry LSU fan base. And Tennessee, they drew the short straw this week and going to get it taken out on them. So,
Well,
I mean,
and that's the hope, right?
That's the hope,
And not
right,
only
right,
not
that's the
only are
hope.
they coming off a 10-run loss in a midweek game, but they're playing Tennessee, which the fans, the rivalry between the fans over the last 4 or 5 years, I think, is greater than the rivalry between the players. I think there's mutual respect from the players on the field. It's the fans, but that's usually what makes the rivalry so great. It's a budding rivalry. I wouldn't consider it an actual rivalry because it hasn't been there long enough. But over the last 5 years, it has been a Very entertaining series and last 2 national champions. So that says all you need to say. Jared, what are you looking forward to most, or what do you want to see this weekend? Let's jump right into this baseball conversation. Obviously, LSU gets they're playing against Liam Doyle tonight, who has been one of the best pitchers in the SEC, one of the best pitchers in the country. Kay Anderson, not far behind him, has been really good. Has had a couple outings where he gave up some runs, but all in all has been really good. What's your take on this weekend? What do you want to see?
I mean, well, first though, before I even stop at LSU, because obviously that's where the bulk of our conversation is going to go, and that's where it needs to go, because that's what we do, right? The A&M Texas series, like, huge series, and I guess a lot of us probably would have thought this thing would be the other way around in terms of how these teams are looking at this point. Huge series down there in Austin. You got the Ole Miss and Vandy series, huge series right now, right? You also got, don't sleep on this one, Arkansas and Florida, right? Like, Florida's finally starting to get it going. I want to say it's 5 out of their last 6. Arkansas just got beat this last weekend. This is a good series too, because if somehow Florida finds a way to kind of pull this thing out, this shit's gonna look a lot different on the other end when we come Monday. But now when I get to like this LSU and Tennessee series, like he mentioned it already, and I love the simple fact that you feel like you got a pissed off LSU team coming in. You feel like you got a pissed off LSU fan base coming in. You know that you got Tennessee, who honestly, let's tell the truth at this point. They think they run this conference, and they probably thought that for the last few years. They just actually have a championship to finally back it up, if you want to call it that at this point. So we got what looks to be the new kids on the block, or what thinks they're the new kids on the block, by the old salty vets in terms of, hey, we've been here, we've been running this shit, this has been our house. Go ahead, look at the Intimidator. Like, this is a great weekend to be in Baton Rouge, and it's a great weekend to be a part of SEC baseball.
Yeah, hey, don't sleep on the Auburn-Mississippi State series. Auburn's been hot. Mississippi State, it just feels like that's a series that Mississippi State's going to somehow figure out a way to win, right? Mississippi State hasn't been great, but it's the SEC for you. You know, there's a lot of big-time matchups. Obviously, Georgia-Oklahoma is going on right now.
Georgia up 6-0.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Good start.
Yeah. Well, lost game 1. They needed Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia lost, 5 in a row, I believe? Yeah. I was actually in the midweek. I was at Doug Kingsmore. Watched them against Clemson. Clemson's got a squad, but they just on the road, man. Georgia's been struggling. So being back at Foley.
That's the thing.
I'm going to tell you right now.
We talked about that. Tough with the Georgia Stadium's short. Go ahead, Jay.
I said, I'll go ahead and say it earlier. This Georgia team, I'm going to go ahead and put my prediction out on this now. They do not make it past the Supers if they make it to the Supers if they're not playing in Athens.
I agree.
It's not going to happen.
We've talked
they
about
don't
that.
Pitch it well enough, they do that consistent enough, and when they get shut down, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. We've talked about that all year, right? Yeah. Georgia is notorious for, hey, they did it with Condon, right? They were really good. They were driving the ball out of the ballpark. Oh, my God, look at this offense. Condon's a great player. Had a great year. But when you take him out of Foley, right, and you put him on the road in a stadium that the ball doesn't necessarily travel as well as it does in Athens, they've seemed to struggle. SC tournament, they struggled that year with Condon, and every time they've been on the road, they've struggled. They obviously went to Texas, didn't hit a bunch of homers, didn't score a bunch of runs. That's just part. Not saying they're not a good team. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that whenever they are away from home, not as good.
You got to also remember, like, they almost kind of feel like they found a remedy for what they were not getting as starters. Curley comes in. He's giving them 3 quality starts in a row. Last night, I think he went 5, gave up 2 runs. They brought the bullpen in for 4 innings. They gave up 6.
Yeah.
Like, they don't pitch it well to be a really, really good team. And I think because of how that ballpark plays, because of how their lineup's set up, that's where they'll win and get themselves to Omaha. And if it's not there, I don't really see them being able to do it.
Nobody needs to be a top 8 national seed more than Georgia.
No doubt.
And even last year, it didn't work out. Yeah. So I agree. I don't. And it's wild with Wes Johnson. Like, you would think if anything was figured out the pitching, it'd be the opposite, right? And they swing the hell out of it. They swing it like a church league softball team. And I think he's gonna. I mean, y'all know Wes better than I do, but he's gonna get the arms in there.
Yeah.
But until they do, you guys know, like, you got to be able to at some point in the postseason have a dude go out and just shove. And I don't know that Georgia's right. And I don't know they got that guy.
And you're gonna have a guy that you're not really haven't really relied on to do it at some point. Right.
They lack depth. I mean, they do lack depth in the bump, man. And their starting pitching is what has been so bad for them.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they kind of pans out. But They're right in the mix right now. A lot of teams are right in the mix. Texas obviously running away with it as of now. We'll see what happens. Back to the LSU-Tennessee game, Jay. What is your what do you feel about tonight? Or what do you feel about the weekend in general?
It's really two evenly matched teams. Now, I know they don't do it quite the same. There's a lot more quote-unquote power in this Tennessee lineup, but LSU is not, they're going to put up runs. They score, they swing it well. They're one of the best hitting teams in the league. The teams are very evenly matched up, and I say this often, but so often to me, sometimes when you have two really good ball clubs, it truly does become who can get to the bullpen the soonest and the most often, right? And the more I can get into that bullpen, the more I can keep making you have to spin arms and maybe not being able to save them for extended outings and they got to come back on short rest, the better chance that next offense has. And I really do think that this series, being so evenly matched, is going to come down to who can get in the bullpen. Now, I know a lot of people also think, too, like, oh, well, they got great arms in the bullpen. Why you want to get there? You want to get there because you want to spend them early. Now, getting there means you got to be able to do it on nights like tonight. Right? I'm not saying you let Liam Doyle go out there and throw 7 and then all of a sudden think you get into the bullpen. That's not getting to the bullpen like if you do it in the 4th tomorrow. Getting to the bullpen is getting him out of the game early tonight. Right. That way, whoever else has to come in tonight, they might have to pitch again on Sunday. And that's the advantage you start gaining in these kind of situations. So I look for that. Who can become, what lineup can get out there and become tough outs, can extend their bats, can be pesky, can get on base, can get this pitch count up and start running this thing and running through bullpens? Because I think that team is going to win the series.
Correct. And look, LSU did it last weekend again with Riley Quick. They got him out in the 4th. They were able to put some good at bats. Didn't score a ton of runs. I think they scored 4 runs off of him, which off a starter like that is a lot, right? Do you see the offense kind of figuring it out a little bit as far as not necessarily driving balls out of the ballpark and hitting doubles and all that kind of stuff, but do you see them saying, all right, we're going to grind through these at-bats and be able to get this guy out before the 5th?
Yeah, see, like this is the beauty of baseball, in my opinion, because I do think figuring it out, if you will, this weekend may look a little different than what we think figuring it out means 100%. In terms of the stat book. Like you said, that doesn't necessarily mean against this quality of pitcher that you're going to get 15 hits, 8 runs, and like that's what the game's going to look like. Figuring it out in this situation may be the 8-hit, 3-run, 4-run type of night. And people will be like, oh, man, we still don't do this. We're still not hitting it. It's like, no. These at-bats against that kind of quality is showing to be different, and I promise you it'll help them going forward. So do I see it happening? Yeah, there's a way for it to happen, but I'm not going to sit here and say it will happen. But I do think that those first 2 times, and maybe even not in the first, let's go ahead and say the first 14 batters, if you will, that Doyle will face should be pretty telling in terms of where this thing could possibly go and how long he can kind of stay in this thing and what kind of LSU offense you may get on the weekend.
You don't necessarily need to, in a game like this and against a pitcher of this caliber, quality at bats don't necessarily always need to equate to getting hits or getting on base. You need to be able to make this guy throw 5, 6, 7 pitches in an at bat, and if you get out, you get out. But you made him work to get you out, and if you can consistently do that through the first 14 guys in the lineup, this pitch count's going to skyrocket. The more pitches you see, the more opportunities you're going to have to hit a mistake or get a mistake. And I think that, to your point, I think that's what the key is to the games this weekend. Someone who hasn't been here and has been looking at it from an unbiased point of view. What's your take on the game, Chris?
I like LSU this weekend, first off. The game tonight, though, I agree with everything you guys are saying. You got to grind out at bats against a guy like Liam Doyle. You got to put the baseball in play because you look at Tennessee defensively. I mean, they're scuffling. I mean, you look at last week against Kentucky, and I know Kentucky loves to run, but that's what's fascinating about this LSU team this year, the athleticism with guys like Curiel at the top and so many other guys that can hurt you on the base bats. I don't know if you play small ball necessarily, but you got to put pressure on Tennessee. And so obviously the strikeout does nothing for you, right? So putting the baseball in play, do we see some hit and runs? Do we see a little small ball? Obviously you still want to drive the baseball, and you got guys like Bear Jones in your lineup giving the power. But, yeah, I mean, I think this series is fascinating because, again, I think it's a pair of teams that they're both in really good position, but the standard is so high. We're talking about the last 2 national champions, right? So I mean, you take 2 or 3 against Bama. LSU fans are still upset because of the way it looks. Tennessee has lost 2 of their last 3 series, and I mean, even the one they won at Ole Miss, they scored 3 in the top of the 9th in the final game. They were They could have easily lost 3 straight series coming in. So they're feeling some type of way about their club. I tell you, again, the game tonight's going to be pure cinema. You know, we haven't talked yet about Cade Anderson. You know, watched him. I watched pitch for pitch against Oklahoma because that was the Thursday night game. He was phenomenal. I don't think you can obviously expect that from him every single time out. I know people are like, what happened to that version? It's like, well, I mean, that's the extreme.
And even against Alabama, he was very, very sharp.
Right.
They just ran into some solo homers.
It was very good. He's been very good all year. I think you could argue he's the best ace, one of the best certainly in the SEC. But you're probably going to have to win. Listen, a 2-1, 3-2, maybe 4-3 kind of ball game tonight. You know, both teams are going to have to round the arms. And I think both, you do everything, and it goes without saying, but you do everything you can to win tonight. Because if you win tonight, you feel like you're ahead of it.
Yep.
Because if we get to game 3 and this thing's 1-1, who the fuck knows? Both sides are like, but neither side feels good.
Yeah.
Because for them, Tegan Coons has gotten roughed up, and they're not pitching A.J. Russell in the Sunday role yet. I know for LSU, they've had their own game 3 problems, so it's just like a free-for-all at that point. But, I mean, listen, man, you know, when you're at home on a Friday night, got your crowd behind you, it's like, hey, there's a different vibe in the clubhouse, different vibe when you run on the field. And it's like, we've got our fucking guy on the mound. This is our dude. Yep. We're going to go to war for this guy. Like, that's one you got to get at home, man.
And the 4 guys you're facing, the 4 starting pitchers you have on Friday and Saturday are 4 of the best starting pitchers in the SEC.
Yeah.
Right? You got, obviously, Cade Anderson and Liam Doyle. We've talked about them. Ianson has quietly put himself in a position to be as one of the best pitchers in the SEC. He has 83 strikeouts in 53 innings, and he has been every bit of what you want in your Saturday night guy. And Marcus Phillips for Tennessee kind of been the same way. He's been really good. He's got a sub-3 ERA. And so those 4 guys, those 2 pitching matchups are going to be extremely interesting. Both offenses are going to get challenged. You know, obviously the big thing on our side is keeping the ball in the ballpark. I think if they keep Tennessee in the ballpark, I think LSU's chances go way up.
Mikey, can we set the vibes here? Let me get one of those pillows real quick, man. Let's get a little vibe.
First time.
There we go.
First time.
First
time. Zen with sponsors.
Yeah.
We're looking for
no
them.
free ads, but if you want to send
I mean, I feel like BR is the perfect place to do this.
They do it tricky.
What?
See the arrows on the thing?
Oh, you got to line them up?
Line them up.
See, I don't know, man. I'm a total rookie.
Childproof.
Childproof. Yeah.
Well,
We don't want the kids getting.
And so when you have 6 Red Bull vodkas,
Now,
like
when you
maybe
start,
not
if you start sweating, you know we know where it's coming from. That's it. Not me.
Little pillow here.
Yeah.
Not bad. Let's get the
There
weekend
you
going.
go.
Come on. Hey, we only get one a week, baby.
Let's
Happy
go.
Friday, baby. Let's go. No, I'm I can already smell the bourbon.
Yep.
When I drove
you
in,
can smell the
when I
crawfish,
crossed the Louisiana state line, I rolled down the window, put my hand out. You could just like the water glancing off, the humidity. I was like, we're home,
Yeah,
baby.
and
we're
the
here.
crawfish. You get to smell the
And-
smell.
hey.
You don't get that in the fall. You don't get the smell of
I've
crawfish
been told
in the
it's
fall.
very seasonal.
Yeah.
Very seasonal. So,
Yep.
and I told you this off air. This will be my first boiled crawfish experience. I've done the crawfish etouffee. We were at Pyran's last night. I've never had like the live boiled crawfish, like done that whole process.
Yeah, where you suck
Never
the head.
sucked the head. Pause.
There you go.
Never eaten the poop line. None of it. You know, it's funny. I thought about putting on Twitter, like saying things I've never done that I'll do this weekend in Baton Rouge. Suck the head. And I was like, you know what? Let me not. Let me not.
Not yet. One day that could be a tweet.
Let me not.
One day that could be a tweet.
But dude, I tell you talk about this. This isn't a rivalry yet. But what I'm excited about for this weekend, and every weekend in the SEC is super passionate, but this, I think, is going to have a super regional kind of vibe. Because this is the kind of matchup you're going to get, even if it's not a Tennessee, if it's some ACC team or whoever it is. Like, I think the sense of urgency with both these sides, because it's not these two programs, it's not about making the postseason or even hosting. It's like announcing your fucking presence with authority.
Yep.
And I think both feel like, all right, we've kind of gone through this cold spell. Somebody's got to win a series.
Are you real?
Somebody's got to win a statement series, right? And I think that's where LSU fans, because even I've got kind of a laugh. I mean, dude, the whole fire Jay Johnson, it's just outrageous.
Yeah.
Jay's one of the best in the coach. You could argue he's the best coach. Tony Vitello, you could argue he's the best coach.
Best 2 wins, the most highest
The last 2 national champions.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
So, but this, I think LSU fans have been struggling with the fact your most notable series, you went to Texas and you lost. since then, you haven't really had that signature, that one where it's like you can go out there and make your statement. Now you've got it. Now you've got it. And I think the adversity for both sides, and I think both coaches would admit, like, it's great to have it because now you're going to find out who are our guys that are going to step up, put their foot down, be like, enough is enough. Who's going to be in the locker room like, we're fucking LSU, we're at home, let's go do what we do. Like, this is LSU baseball, let's go do it. So Tennessee's saying the same thing. That's what's going to make it great. It's going to be great players, great atmosphere, great fan bases, both sides. Yeah,
and look, sometimes the offense hasn't been what it needed to be, and we've talked about this all week. It's not because of talent. It's not because they can't do it. It's just because it's baseball. And sometimes you go through those stretches. Sometimes when you play a team like this and you have an atmosphere like this and you have the anticipation of this, sometimes that raises the level of play and that gets you back where you need to go without having to really change anything other than the fact that, hey, we're a little bit more locked in and we're going to get it right. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's what you're going to see.
There's a reason. I'm sure you guys don't do it either, but like when people ask you, like, what's the keys of the series, there's things you can hit on. But, I mean, baseball's the same, right? It's let's go pitch well, let's play great defense, and let's have timely hitting. That's the thing with LSU that I've seen the complaints, and I've seen it myself watching them. You got to hit with runners in scoring position. Like against a guy like Liam Doyle, too. You're not going to have many opportunities.
And there should be a lot of times with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
You got to come up big. You got to come up clutch. Like, again, you're not going to get tons of opportunities.
Can we talk about this? Because I sometimes, like, I think numbers can tell you a lot, but I don't think they're everything. But people forget, and it's hard to understand some of these things unless you, like, really break it down. Like, we talk about this Texas team who's the number 1 rated team in the country. Obviously, LSU went there, lost that series there. But when I look at them and we're like, all right, well, how are they doing it? Well, they're the number 1 pitching team in the country. But, well, they got to be hitting good enough to be able to do something, right? Yes, they are. But I look at them and I'm like, looking at their stats. Well, they got the exact same number of homers as LSU. They got 5 more doubles than LSU, and they got the exact same amount of triples as LSU. They've scored 61 runs less than LSU this year.
Wow.
Right.
And they're just winning every close game. I mean, they're winning every close game.
So my point is like, we sit here and we're saying, oh, they're not getting these hits with runners on or runners in scoring position. But is that true? Like, aren't they not? Because those numbers don't say it. Because we're looking at a team that they lost to, and they got 61 more runs scored than this team on the year. Right? They didn't play every game against Texas, just like Texas didn't play every game against LSU. So we can't sit here and say, and I know y'all aren't saying this, but we can't sit here and say, like, oh, well, they haven't done it in the SEC. They're still the number 2 ranked team in the SEC in terms of offensive numbers. So they're obviously doing something well here. They've played almost, at this point, we're talking about 20-ish games already in the league? You're doing something.
Well, let's also we're also greatly over exaggerating, I think, like the struggles.
Yeah,
I mean, this is SEC baseball. Like everybody's going to get.
Yeah, but say we're not.
Right? No, we're not. We're not. I think just overall the struggles of LSU are being. Again, like it's not. And I'm not telling LSU baseball fans how to baseball fan, but I don't know how healthy it is to win 2 of 3 and be like, we lost the series. That's the vibe. It's like, no, I mean, Alabama was actually pretty decent.
Good.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all saw last night, Mizzou was up like 7 or 5-1 in that game, and I was like, I know LSU fans are watching this like, fuck. Like, see, we should have swept, and then they come back and win. But no, I mean, dude, this league is just. But I will say though, that's the thing. We know how hard it is to win the road. You went to Auburn, you got swept. You lost at Texas. You got to protect the home field.
No doubt.
You got to.
No
you
doubt.
got to, and your fan base is going to show up. You got to protect Alex Box.
Spring break, weather's good, rained all week, now it's sunny. Lloyd, you haven't chimed in yet.
Hey,
come on, producer Lloyd, let's go.
We got LSU's home dogs.
1.5.
1.5 points over under 10 runs.
Over under 10 feels like a lot.
Runs.
That feels like a lot.
Points. Big baseball guy.
Yeah, big baseball guy. 1.5 points.
I hope both teams play well.
Are we hammering LSU right now?
I'm taking LSU.
I mean, we have to, right?
I'm taking the under.
The under's the play, I think.
But that's usually what happens. It goes over.
You can't go to a baseball game whenever you're clearly rooting for one team and go, I also like to take the under. You just got to go take the team.
Life's too short to bet the under.
Exactly.
Maybe not bet any of the over-under, but I think the under it does hit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dude, just hammer LSU money line.
That's
I mean,
doubt.
You got to ride with the boys.
Plus 100.
You got to ride with
100%. 100%.
How much did Northwestern State sway Vegas? I mean, come on, man. Do they know Bear Jones isn't at third base tonight?
Do you know?
Do they know that?
He started.
I
at
don't
third.
know.
I heard he was. No, I heard he was starting at third base again.
Break
tonight.
the internet. Breaking news: Bear Jones is back at third.
Actually, I heard he's catching.
Catching.
tonight. Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
That's
Christ.
when he came into LSU as a catcher.
Oh Jesus!
I think he's gonna be. I think
He
he's
might
behind
catch
the
an
dish.
inning too.
Huh?
Might pitch.
I got to admit,
The whole thing.
I didn't
No.
watch every pitch in Northwestern State, but
Me either.
I heard it was.
I
I
did.
even heard in like warm ups it was pretty rough for Bear over there at third, the hot corner. So
Yeah, he made a few errors.
and then what they were trying to do that what get other guys in the lineup. They got
Yeah,
well,
he's
they got
done
like
it-
4 outfielders right now,
Yeah,
right?
and
They're
he's
trying to
done
work
it a
in.
few times in SEC play where, based off the pinch hitting situations and bringing those guys in, Bear has played third base like
An inning.
on like 3 or 4 separate occasions, and then Jake Brown would go to first, and then they would go back whenever the lineup would get back to where it needed to get to, and so
I know this is your show. I'm asking a question
No.
on you a question and Jay Mitch a question on you
I'll
guys'
take
show.
one, too.
When you were and Lloyd because
Yeah.
Lloyd this can apply to Lloyd. When you were facing a Friday night ace, so Lloyd definitely chime in.
Yeah.
For you guys, when you knew you were, let's say like a Drew Pomeranz, that's he was obviously you're facing a Drew Pomeranz. What's the
VP.
as a hitter? What's the how much does the mentality change, if at all, going into a game where you kind of know
yeah.
this is going to be a scrappy, hard fought? We're probably, I mean, again, Friday nights in the SEC, it's going to be low scoring, especially if both guys are on. Does the mindset change at all as a hitter?
So for me, I faced Pomeranz as a freshman. I don't think the mindset really changes in a sense, but for me it was always, no matter who I played, it was, hey, if I could scratch a hit and scratch a walk, I'm having a great day, right? And so when you face
Put
it,
something in the bucket.
yeah,
I like what you said. Put something
in the bucket every day, right? So with an ace like that, you can't expect to go get 4. You may go 4 for 4, but you can't expect to go 4 for 4. So what I would try to do is I would literally try to grind out every at bat. I couldn't give away at pitches, couldn't give away at bats, and I wanted to put. My goal was, okay, this guy's supposed to strike me out, supposed to get me out. I want every single pitch, every single at bat to be put in play, and just grind that out. Whether it's a 17 hopper to the third baseman that I beat out, or whether it's a right center field double off the wall, I wanted to grind out at bats, and I wanted to make this guy work, and I wanted to force my way on base somehow, some way. That would be even if the guy made an error.
Jay Mitch, I know you hit bombs, so your mentality probably doesn't change a lot.
Yeah, let me tell you, I lived on the other side. Let me tell you. Listen, so with dudes like this, man, it sounds like what I'm gonna say. It sounds like you're like giving away some at bats or giving away some pitches in other situations, but you're truly
Right.
not. You just understand that everything's not the exact same. So what I mean by this is like, hey, whatever approach you're gonna try to go up there with. So let's just say if I'm seeing a guy like this, if it was Drew Pomeranz, knowing that he's got good shit, hey, listen, if Drew's on, it's going to be a long night for you. But what I'm up here to do is make sure that he earns every single pitch that he gets. So I'm going to be laser focused on my game plan. I'm going to really be trying to pull him to the middle of the plate, because if he's on and he's able to use the corners and he's running shit off and he's actually able to expand the zone, it's going to be a long night anyway for us, right? So why should I be up there helping him, being like, oh, let me really just try to get him somewhere over the plate. Now you're swinging that shit off the corners and you're doing all this other goofy shit. So I think when you get guys like this, Mikie said, like, hey, I want to make sure my drop in the bucket is to make sure I'm going to put something in play here. I didn't go that route. I honestly went the route of it may take 5, it may take 10, it may take 12, and I may K, but your ass is going to throw some pitches tonight.
Right.
I'm not going down 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make sure I make you earn every out you get and every pitch you get and every strike you get, and I'm going to make sure you throw as many pitches as possible. Like, that's kind of how I went, because I knew if that guy's on, I'd rather him be on for 4 or 5 innings and get to 100 pitches and he's out this bitch. As opposed to saying like, or as opposed to me saying like, if we take this approach by just putting this game, putting ball in play, he may be 75 pitches into the 6th. And now he's, they're not having to use it anymore. Yeah. And I think that Friday night game becomes much like, for a lot of times, like facing a big league number 1 or number 2, where hey, 0 for 2, 0 for 3 with a walk, that's fine. Yeah. That works. It usually is going to work. If they're on, not going to give up a ton. So if they're not going to give up a ton, we can't be up here trying to, I don't know, basically say like, this is an easy at bat. I know I can get something to hit. The one you may get to hit may not be a fastball. It may not be the pitch you actually want to hit, but it's the one you go get. And that's the one you better be looking. That's the one you better not miss, because you probably won't get another one.
Well, and that you said it, like, you got to hone into the specific plan that you have. right? Against these guys, like some guys who aren't as good and as dominant, who's going to maybe miss over the plate a lot more often, you can kind of say, okay, this is my plan, and kind of make half-ass adjustments if you want, because the guy's not good. A guy this good, if you get out of your plan and you say, okay, I'm going to go up there, and then all of a sudden, he dots you up with 2 fastballs in the inner half of the plate, and you're like, damn, I wasn't looking for that, and you start panicking and you change your approach, you're done. Because now you're chasing balls out the zone. You get out of what you're trying to do. If you stay with your plan, that's how you allow this guy to throw more pitches and make him uncomfortable. And look, these guys, I don't care how good you are, the more times you get on base, the more times they got to throw out of the stretch, the more uncomfortable they're going to get. And that's what you're going to have to do.
I wonder if they can use the emotions of Liam Doyle against him, too.
And that's the other thing.
That's a big thing. Now, again, he goes to Ole Miss, spun a gym. That was about as emotional a game as it's going to get for him, going back to his old spot. They were rowdy. He shoved it up their ass. But I am curious to see, again, with this crowd, this atmosphere, can that – because at some point, you love guys that are fiery like that, but it can backfire on you. So I'm also curious to the way they attack him. Doyle loves the high fastball. He loves to live away soft. I mean, he does a lot of things lefties do, but he loves the fastball, so especially up.
And that's the other thing, right? That's been the.
I love that you're bringing this up about him.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love that you're bringing this up about him because a lot of lineups, when you realize a guy's like good and he's on his shit and he's got his stuff or he's been really good lately, sometimes the game plan is to take it to a mental game, right? So, for example, somebody like Cade Anderson, who literally looks like he's flatline and he's just a stone cold killer out there, whether he's got 12 strikeouts, no strikeouts, giving him 12 hits, giving him no hits, he's this guy. You don't really get much out of him. So, literally, at that point, you're just up there being like, all right, we're playing a game. When you get guys like Liam Doyle, you try to play mind games with him. You try to step in the box late. Like, you try to get in there early. You try to beat him at the things that he's doing, or you try to get into his head in terms of how can I make him play into the emotion of what he's doing more as opposed to the craft of what he's doing more.
Right.
So it's interesting to see what they'll be able to do in this situation.
And the high fastball. I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that LSU has struggled with recently where, Bear Jones chasing up in the zone. And there's a lot of different reasons on why that's the case. And I think for me it's approach. For me it has nothing to do with swing. For me it's about, hey, I've got to figure out how to not chase those pitches up, right? And if I know a guy's going to throw up in the zone and likes to throw up in the zone, then, and this is the way I did it, Jared may have done something differently, I would say, okay, this is the highest I want to swing. This is the top of my zone. I don't care if it's a strike above that. This is the highest that where I'm going to go, and I'm going to work top to bottom. And I'm going to say anything from here down is free game. Anything above that, I got to be disciplined enough not to swing it. And if they can do that, and he can start kind of living in the top of the zone and not getting those strikes, that could prove some.
I did it a little different. I was about to say I did it just a little different, only in the sense of where it was like I always took the mindset when I knew I was facing a dude that one was really good and that two had a really good idea of what he was doing with his pitches. I took the mindset of, well, if this is how he's going to attack me, I'm not swinging at any of that shit because if he's on and he's doing it well, we probably gonna be out anyway. So I'm gonna make him show me today that he can keep that high fastball like somewhere in the vicinity, somewhere to where it's competitive pitch, or else I'm not swinging at it at all. So I may take a couple high fastballs that end up being strikes, and I'll be like, all right, now he's playing in this level. Now we got to go get him, right? So like now we got to figure out how we gonna combat this because he has this at this point. That was kind of how I went about it because I always thought like if I'm gonna sit up here as a hitter and try to hit his strengths in terms of what he's doing, well, then I'm just basically writing the fucking check for him to go get whatever money he wants at the end of the year because that's what he wants to do. So, like, I don't want to do that. That's kind of how I went about it.
Yeah, it's setting the seam, and it's two teams that I think we talked about. They got a point to prove. I feel like almost people from a national scale have forgotten these are two of the best teams in the country. Like again, Tennessee's not being talked about nearly as much as they were a few weeks ago where I felt like at some point, I think they started, 22-0 or something like that. They lost that midweek to East Tennessee State. They had that, they throw a combined no-hitter, 10-run rule, A&M, and then from then on, they've just kind of nosedive for whatever reason. And then LSU, obviously, recent struggles. It's going to be fascinating because something's just got to give, man.
Yeah.
It's like something's got to give.
It's going to be fun. I mean, that's
one guarantee is this fan base is going to bring it.
No doubt.
They're going to bring it.
No doubt. And listen, there's going to be a moment in the game, and if LSU can capitalize on that moment, you're going to see a whole different level of fans that you haven't seen yet this year, which is what I'm looking forward to. A la 2 years ago at home whenever Thompson hit the double off the wall, with the bases loaded. Like, something like that needs to happen this
It's going
weekend.
to come down to a moment.
No doubt.
A couple of moments. Speaking of moments, Drew Pomerantz, you brought him up. Mikie, did you know you snapped your 0 for 34
I did know.
skid against Drew
Trust me.
Pomerantz?
I did know.
0 for 34. Man,
Tampa.
you're seeing ghosts.
It was not good. It was not good. It was a double. It was a seventh inning, too. It was a go-ahead double.
Yeah, it was.
It was a go-ahead double, and if you watch the video of me sliding in second base, there was no smile on my face. It was like,
Relief.
Thank God.
thank God. I think I even looked up to the
That's what
sky.
they said, yeah.
Yeah.
Say thank the heavens.
Yep, thank God. And then next play, next inning in left field, Mookie Betts double down the line, kicks off the wall, field it, threw him out at second base. We won the game.
Hey, all it takes is one.
All it takes is one.
That's
Put it
it.
in the
All
bucket.
it takes is
Yeah.
one.
Put it in the bucket.
Yeah, I was not in a good spot.
Couldn't believe you brought that name up. Mikey's like, yeah, Drew Pomerantz.
That was the first. So my first SEC start was against Drew Pomerantz
Really?
in Ole Miss. As a
He
freshman.
was a stud, man.
Yeah.
I remember watching him. I believe this was 2010. Watching him at South Carolina, it was Blake Cooper against Drew Pomerantz, and that was the year South Carolina won the national title. But that was a 1-0 game going into 8th. I think it was Adrian Morales had a big triple that tied the game, and then South Carolina ends up winning. But
No,
yeah,
they
he was a
had
stud.
them, and then they had Biddle, that closer for Ole Miss, and he was a starter, and he had supposed to get drafted in the first round. Then he had some MRI issues and came back. He was their closer, and he was nasty through all cutters. I remember that game.
Well, you weren't there when they had Lance Lynn on Friday
No,
night.
I
And
wasn't.
Pomerantz was right after.
I was not there for that.
That was the thing too.
Yeah,
And then they had
Biddle.
Cody Satterwhite too as well. Like in that, they had a very good team at that time.
Yeah, no, they were nasty. They still couldn't make it to Omaha. Omaha, Ole Miss at home again. That's what it was. Now
I made for everybody.
Lloyd, you put any bets in?
Yeah, Tigers by the
Do we have a SEC parlay? Should we make an SEC
Oh, we got the
parlay
guy
on the
here.
show? We have the guy here. Let's talk it through here, okay? Obviously, can't bet the Georgia game because that's going on right now. But
Give me. I'll tell you. I go off the rip. Just give me A&M money line tonight. I'd parlay that Ryan Prager legacy game coming tonight.
okay,
I believe Texas is going Rojas. They're bumping him up. Dude, I just feel like, and I could be dead wrong. Texas
I'm gonna
may
do it right
sweep.
now.
I don't know, but I feel like the script has been written. I really do. A&M gets off to a historically bad start. I said they were dead after the Kentucky series. I was like, this
Everybody
team's
did.
cooked. I was like, this is the series against Kentucky. If you don't win this series, you're not making the postseason. You're fucking out. They win this series, you're talking about them hosting again.
yep, right.
So they have completely – I mean, you think about if they win this series, they beat a top 5 Tennessee. They may have been number 1. I'm not sure. On the road at their place. They sweep South Carolina ho-hum. Take 2 of 3. The Arkansas series was the one for me that really jumped out as like, okay, I'm kind of back on the train because, I mean, guys, I think Arkansas might be the most complete team in the league. I've
Yeah,
seen them in person.
they're
They
good.
are top to bottom. They figured out the lineup. They brought in a bunch of guys from the portal. I think 7 of their 9 in the lineup are transfer portal guys. They're swinging the shit out of it. You know, they're Arkansas. They're going to pitch. They play good defense. You know, doesn't mean they're going to win every game, obviously, but, like, they might be the most complete team top to bottom. But then you look at Texas A&M. I know they lost Grahovic. Ever since Caden Sorrell came back,
yeah.
Jace Lavalette swinging it like a 1-1 again. You know, the pitching staff's been pretty good all year, but the bullpen is finally holding up their end of the bargain. I think Prager tonight, legacy game.
Love that.
He's going to shove it up their ass.
All right,
LSU
so we got
A&M parlay.
LSU money line parlay with A&M parlay. Should we add a couple more?
Oh, you were talking.
Why not?
You know me, I like
Get a little
when my odds get a little high.
frisky. Are you like the 15 team MLB
Absolutely.
parlay $1 to win
Yes.
like 30 grand or something like
MLB,
that?
he does it in college football.
I'm sure.
Because if you win it, it's great.
Mikey
gotta see
seems
what-
like the
you
kind of
gotta
guy.
see what-
He seems like the
He
kind of
has
guy
to
betting
throw
on
his phone
spring.
away from him on a Saturday, Sunday.
Hey, Saturdays have been good. Sundays have been awful for me, okay? Saturdays have been good for me.
Here's the thing with college baseball too. A lot of times they don't put their best booksmakers on that. There's no
no,
way.
I agree.
If you
It's
really
gotten
know
tighter.
college
It's gotten
baseball,
tighter.
Well, we're getting further in the season, but there's money to be had there.
No doubt. And that's
So-
why we're going through. So, okay, we got 2 games. Do you like another one?
I have another one. You just talked about Arkansas, Florida. Arkansas -1.5 at Florida.
You're going to take the minus 1.5.
But it's only minus 170 money line, so I think I'm just going to take that throw in the parlay.
I agree.
Well,
Minus 1.5. Or minus money
It's
line.
money line.
Gage
winning.
Root on the mound tonight for or Zach Root, excuse me. Zach Root on the mound tonight for Arkansas. Liam Peterson
Zach
for
Root.
Florida.
It's a good
Dude,
matchup.
it's funny because I know you guys probably saw I went down to Gainesville earlier this season, got in really tight with those guys. That's one of the big reasons you see. I've never looked better with the shirt,
Yeah, you look
with the
great.
Tigers baseball. They hooked me up with a bunch of gear. A lot of LSU fans were like, no, fuck that. We're going to put you in some purple. But I talked to them this week, and they essentially are like, we could win the next 6 games. We could lose the next 6. I have no fucking idea. They don't know what the deal is with this team. So I like the Arkansas pick. I think Arkansas is going to go in there and take 2 or 3. Here's the big kicker. Jay Mitch mentioned it, but they've lost 2 straight series. I don't see Arkansas dropping a 3rd straight.
Agreed.
Even with it on the road. Yeah, so I like the Hogs. I like that
Okay,
pick.
so that's 3. Jay, now you have to throw one in there.
Are we going series or are we going game?
No, just
tonight. Just tonight.
Just the game tonight.
Take Georgia.
Can't do
Just
that.
the game tonight. Let me,
Hey, nobody's
let me-
talked about Vandy Ole Miss, man. That's a sneaky.
That's why I don't want to touch it.
That's a
sneaky one, too.
sneaky good series, man. Swayze's going to be popping.
We do it go
But
with the-
Vandy's come on strong lately.
He's really thinking.
I'm gonna give you like.
Hey,
I'm gonna give
don't you
one
dare
that's
You can take
easy
it-
and
you can
I
take a
Hey,
gimme.
don't you dare take Mizzou to win
You
their
could-
first conference
You
game.
can take
Don't
a
you do
gimme.
that.
You could take a gimme. You can say Alabama's going to beat them or whoever else.
Dude, that one actually kind of scares me. Although 0-30
That's literally
watch
what
is
I was
on.
thinking because y'all already talked about two I want to go to. Honestly, yeah, man. Like I'm on. Like I was literally like it's part of that year. I already kind of said like are we really about to get the first beaten team in the conference? Like not unbeaten, beaten. Like never winning,
so bad.
right?
They're
That's
so
literally what I thought of Mizzou. So like I knew Bama needed this. They got smacked. They lost the last 3 series, right? They need to. They need to
thumbs
win.
up.
Like,
Yeah,
they need
hell
this
yeah.
really bad. Yeah. So I got Bama in this one.
Okay,
Whatever you want to put
You got
on.
Bama. All right, I like that.
What's the run line on that game?
Oh, let's see.
See.
You want it, Michael?
Well, so
It's gotta be
I don't
like
know if y'all
3.5,
know this. Before
4.5.
last night, I don't know if y'all know. Before last night, in conference play, Mizzou had a 13+ team ERA.
That's not good.
13+.
That one might
They
be
don't
worth
even
the
have
over.
this on here. Matt.
If whatever that line is, I'm taking the over.
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't have this in the. They don't even have this to bet.
Yeah, they don't let you bet against Missouri. That's 7-6 fucking
Hey, let me ask you this.
tightener for LSU.
Let me ask you this. Do you like South Carolina over Kentucky this weekend?
No.
The Fighting Maneries won two straight series.
Over Kentucky this week, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I was asking.
I
Well,
don't.
because it sets up for a hell of a series between South Carolina and Missouri.
All right, so we can't bet that one. Do you have another one?
What series have we not talked about?
Yeah. I did. Give me
You like Auburn over Mississippi State?
Friday night in this one. Give me Ole Miss over Vanderbilt in this one.
Y'all's boy
I
Sam
don't
Dutton could be a
know
good bet
Ole Miss
tonight.
will win this series, but give me Ole Miss in the Friday night game tonight.
Okay.
Hunter Elliott.
I'm more,
Oh, I like it.
Hey, Hunter Elliott, J.D. Thompson.
Thompson
Hell
has
of a matchup.
usually been their Friday night guy. I'm more bought in on, I forget his name, Boker, I believe, that's been thrown on Saturday for Vandy. I'm more in on him. I think
Bowker,
Ole Miss
yeah.
can.
All right.
Yeah,
I've already.
I think Ole Miss can get to Thompson.
I've already put the bets in. Okay. 4-leg parlay plus 1,100 odds.
There you go.
Okay.
100 to win.
Nope. it'd be 100 to win 1,100.
Uh-huh.
Yep. LSU money line, A&M money line, Arkansas money line, Mississippi State. Ole Miss money
Money
line.
line.
I like
Boom.
it.
And
That's a winner.
chalk it up.
Tabs on
Hey,
you tonight.
Just-
Tabs
just-
on you
yeah,
tonight
just
when it
fucking
hits.
Put it in my account now.
Yeah. Hey, this is a podcast, a YouTube show, a trio that has hit multiple parlays in the season before.
Listen. Our record, we as a show during football season, we'd all three pick a game. Didn't have to be money line. Could be spread. Could be
Whatever you
over
wanted.
under, whatever we wanted. And we were over 500 in our parlays on the year.
I think we hit
It's
4.
not bad.
No, we had I think 5.
Yeah, it was quite the streak.
It was pretty good.
Because all it takes is one of those big
We went
ones
4 straight.
to be plus.
Oh,
be in
it
the
was great.
green.
That's why I was plus money
Yeah.
all year.
Yeah.
And the NFL took it from me.
Yep, they
Dude,
always do.
you know that, by the way, last night I was at LaBerge Casino.
Nice.
That
Take
time.
it from
How'd you
too.
do?
Did pretty well. Little blackjack.
Love
Yeah,
that.
did pretty well.
Love that.
Left with more money than we came with.
That's the
goal.
Yeah. So, but they've got the ESPN bet thing in there now. I just took a look at the college baseball. They didn't have games, but they had odds to win the SEC regular season. Do you know Texas is minus 1,000?
No way.
Minus 1,000. Arkansas is, I believe, plus 1,000 or plus 1,100. LSU plus 1,500. But I'm like, dude, I would
I'll go put
sprinkle
some
a
money
little
on
bit.
both of those two.
That's what I'm saying. Texas hasn't gotten cold yet. That would be the thing that scares me about Texas. Like, if you're a Texas fan, here's the
haven't
thing.
struggled yet.
For the LSU fans, you'd rather be struggling a little bit right now. You don't want to peak right now. You don't want to peak.
Exactly.
Because guess
There's
what? You
two
get
things
cold
that
in a
are scaring
month,
me
you're done.
about them.
There's a stretch. There's a stretch that's coming.
You're
that's not
gonna
be good.
get cold.
Yep.
It's just inevitable.
No doubt.
Some of those close games you're gonna
There's
lose.
two things about them. Yeah, you're 100% right. There's two things about them for me. It's they haven't been cold. Like, literally have not been cold, and it's like, this is a baseball season, and I don't really give a shit what the length of a baseball season is. It's coming. Pretty much, it's coming, right? With that being said, also on the second side of it is like, man, they're literally doing this by only like using 6 arms. Now, I know we've always said, hey, all you need is 2.5 starters and a closer, but like, you need pieces in between there that can give you stretches. They may not be the guys that you can count on all year, but you need dudes that'll come in there and give you stretches. I'm not saying that no one else has done really anything, but if you go look at Texas's staff and their numbers, they're literally doing this with 6 guys, and now one of them just went down. And so you're like, how long can they keep doing that shit?
Right.
Like, how long can they keep doing that?
Yeah, it's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, anybody loses their ace,
Yeah.
you're going to feel that at some
No
point.
doubt.
You are. Maybe this weekend. I think this weekend.
I do think they lose. Okay, so with that said, before we get to the segments and the part of our show that we have fun with, not like we have.
Oh, this
fun
hasn't been
yeah,
fun
we
yet?
don't, not like we have fun at all throughout our show. Series. We talk about games, right? I know y'all do every week on SEC Unfiltered. Y'all pick series.
I'll pick them, yeah.
How have y'all been doing?
We've been okay. We've been pretty good.
A lot of people are nervous that y'all took all three.
I
Y'all took
know.
LSU.
We had a lot of comments from LSU fans that saw our picks and were like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
you know? Damn it!"
Yeah, a lot of nervous.
I will say the fact that all 3 of us went LSU scares the hell out of me because it's like this is still the Tennessee Volunteers. It's still Tony Vitello. We've been pretty well though. I mean, I will say this, and I'm not bragging about this here, but I was one of those that was on. I caught a lot of flack for taking Auburn over LSU. I took them in
did
that
take them.
series.
That was
I
a
did.
good call,
Now I didn't see the
obviously.
sweep coming,
Right.
But I felt like it set up well,
Yeah.
kind of a little maybe a revenge-ish spot for a Dutton, and he's been absolutely shoving lights out.
No doubt.
Auburn's a sneaky good team. We've been pretty good though.
Yeah.
Been pretty good.
Okay.
So.
Obviously, Oklahoma, Georgia. We're not gonna put that in there.
And I went Georgia. And they very well still could. I mean, you said what?
Georgia's
6?
winning 9-2 now.
Okay.
Well,
So
actually, so it's rubber match.
so is it
on Sunday.
doubleheader today? Or are they playing tomorrow?
I think they play tomorrow too.
So
I think.
why the early start today? Weather-wise? Just weather?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe they're on spring break too over there. I have no idea.
Interesting.
All right, so okay, let's just say it goes status quo here. Georgia finishes his game off. Rubber match tomorrow. Who wins that series? You said you picked Georgia.
I'm going to go Georgia at home.
Okay.
I think it favors the home team. You're going in Game 3 rubber match at home, yeah.
Jay?
Who wins the Georgia series? I got Georgia winning this one. I do. I think they'll outslug them. I mean, they're already kind of doing it today. I think they're going to be in that situation again tomorrow. But I got Georgia winning this series.
Yeah, I like.
But
Go ahead.
get to what I said. They better host the day. They better be a national seed.
Well,
they'll go home again.
That's what I'm about to say. This series, they have to win this. Georgia's 10-9 in conference play. Like they have to win this series at home.
It's been funny this season. On a side note, seeing all the Georgia fans. I've caught a lot of shit from Georgia fans because I called them the most overrated team in college baseball early in the season because I'm just like, you are not a top 5 team in the country if you're getting 3 to 4 innings out of your starters every game. I mean, and last weekend Curley went 7 innings for them. That was the longest outing by a starter. Before that, their longest outing by a starter was 5 2/3.
Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
can you
Go?
keep asking the bullpen to bail you out?
Right.
And score.
And then, like I said too, as well, like Curley went 5. He's going to quality starts the last 2 times he's gone out there, which he hadn't been a starter.
Kid's got
all
nasty
year.
shit. He's got nasty shit.
Yeah, he goes 5 last night. They bring the bullpen in. They go 4. They gave up 6. So it's like, Where is it? Who's going to hold this thing down for y'all?
Speaking of Curly, this was earlier in the season. What'd you guys – I know you probably saw the clip. What'd you think about Curly blowing the kiss to the guy at second and then snapping off the fucking hammer? But the kicker, it was at Kennesaw State.
That was my issue.
Brother, it's at Kennesaw State.
I play with some crazy psychopath pitchers.
We love psycho closers.
No doubt.
Psycho pitchers.
And, I understand. If that's your thing, it's just the midweek at Kennesaw State. Like, let's save that one
Settle
for like
down.
let's
Settle
save that
down.
one for like an SEC game.
Hey, let me ask y'all this: how many kisses have y'all seen him blow since, or how many times has that been?
Hey, the baseball gods are not kind.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, so I like Georgia as well. The part of this Oklahoma team, their third starter is non-existent. They haven't had a good third starter.
I tell you this, Kyson's a fucking dude, bro.
And
He's
they
a
already
dude.
won that.
Dude. Hey, I'm telling you right now, Kyson, you got Cade, you got the lefty from Mississippi State.
Yep. Pico Khan, yeah.
Those are right there. Those three are
Doyle.
absolutely in this league.
Yeah.
Doyle's up there too. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Those are the ones in this league that I'm like, oh my God.
Okay,
they're
South Carolina, Kentucky. Y'all say Kentucky.
I'm going
already said
Cats.
that.
I think that the duo of Nick McKay and Ben Cleaver, they're going to eat that lineup up. And there's just I don't think Brandon Stone's going to go 86 pitch CG again. I don't see it. I feel bad for Ethan Petrie, honestly.
I'm riding the momentum.
I'm with him on this
You
one.
going
I'm
with
taking
the Cox?
Kentucky.
The fight Maneris?
I'm going with the fight Maneris.
Dude,
I'm
did you
with
play
you.
at Kentucky when you
Yes.
did y'all play that? Weird place.
Sucks. They
Weird.
swept us.
I guess it wasn't the new ball. Swept y'all. Jesus.
2010. That was our. So in 2010 we were 32-6, number one team in the country. Ronaldo goes down. Now we don't have our ace, and we're like shit. And we went on like a 7-game losing streak. We got swept against Oklahoma. I mean at Ole Miss, which basically walked us off all 3 games. Then we lose a midweek game against UNO.
Nice.
And then I believe it was at Kentucky.
Thank God Twitter didn't exist.
We went to Kentucky and they swept. It did, but it just wasn't with us.
Yeah,
now.
right.
And
Early stage.
then we went to Kentucky and they swept us too. I was like,
Yeah, but
fuck.
Tiger dropping still existed.
Not great.
Okay. Message
Original
boards were high.
Twitter.
Yeah, but I'm going fight Maneris.
Yeah, give it Paul.
Paul was over there like, come on, guys. What are y'all fucking doing?
That was not good. That was not a good stretch.
His little high pitch.
That was
What? Have you ever fucking played baseball? Come on.
not a good stretch.
God damn it,
saying
Mike.
that every year.
You fucking pop up and feeling sorry for yourself. You fucking want to vomit in my shoes.
That's what we used to do.
I'm not going to lie, man. I watch videos of him
This
at
year?
South Carolina. Yeah, and I'm just like, this is so weird. And I'm like, I love he's
Coach.
a legend. He's a
Yeah.
legend, but I'm like, I don't know how fired up I would be.
Yeah, I love them, and I want them to like at least make the postseason. You know,
Mikey, they're not making the postseason.
No, they're not.
They're not.
I know
They're not.
But like, I'm rooting.
I'd say the locks
I know
are
they're
them,
not.
them, Mizzou, and I think Mississippi State's going to be on the outside.
I agree.
So
But that's just this is a homer.
Take it from the heart.
I'm rooting for the guy.
hey, that
pick.
series LSU going to Columbia, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
They should have brought Paul here though.
That would have been great. All right, Arkansas, Florida.
This is about the time of the year Paul gets hot.
Don't let Paul get hot.
let
now.
Paul
Hey,
get
they-
hot.
Don't let him get hot.
They won a series last week.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Started
They
putting
win this
together.
series and they go play Missouri. They put themselves right in the spot. You know?
Yeah. Take 2 of 3 from LSU.
Nope. Let's not do that.
Let's not go that far.
Let's not do that. Arkansas, Florida.
Hogs.
Let me lead this one off. You want me to lead this one off? I get it.
Go.
Go ahead.
Oh, you get swept by Georgia. You get beat by Ole Miss. You get swept by Vandy. Look, I get it. Missouri's nobody. I get it. Mississippi State's struggling. Is this another situation we watch where A&M went to Tennessee and found a way to win that series? I sneakily got Florida in this series.
Okay.
Just do.
All right.
Love
Just
that.
do.
pick.
And y'all know I've been here saying all year that this Arkansas team is way different than every other Arkansas team I've seen in the past. They do and have the character, the traits that like championship teams literally have. This may be the one that wakes them up. I see Florida stand in the fight here.
All right. I like that. I got Arkansas. You
I'm
got
taking Arkansas, but it is funny. Florida is just kind of lulling us all to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
so we have to act surprised when Sully and the boys are back in Omaha again.
Yeah.
I mean, Florida and Omaha is just – I mean, you guys – I know you know this. He's been there 17 years, 17 seasons he's had, and they've been to Omaha 9 times. They go over 50% of the
Yeah, it's
fucking
crazy.
time.
It's crazy.
But I'm going Hogs. I think 2 of 3. Hard-fought series,
Yep.
though.
Alabama, Missouri. I think it was all consensus Alabama.
It's just this Mizzou. The first team that loses to Missouri, that
it's
is going to
big
be
now.
so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a disaster.
I mean, dude, we're talking about a Mizzou team that got run ruled by Missouri State in the midweek.
Yeah.
Well, that's hey.
I know LSU just got run ruled, but I mean,
every story's different.
yeah.
Auburn, Mississippi State.
Every run rule ain't built the same.
That's right. There's a rain delay.
That fucking rain delay, man.
Auburn, Mississippi State. What we got
I like Auburn tonight.
for this series?
I like Auburn.
Give me Auburn. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Chris Lamonis, man, that seed is scorching.
Yeah, I like Auburn too, but that's why Mississippi State.
I'll take
I like,
it.
I like Auburn too.
Mississippi State sweep.
Butch Thompson, man, love Butch Thompson.
I called my upset of the week already. I can't call this one.
Yeah.
Too. Give me Auburn.
Vanderbilt at Ole Miss.
Vandy's hot.
Vandy's hot. Ole Miss is not.
Take a trend. Go to the Vandy boys.
Vandy boys.
How does Riley Maddox pitch in game 2? Huge key for Ole Miss. He's been so up and down, but I am going Vandy boys. I like Vandy. You like Ole Miss?
Taking Ole Miss.
That's not a bad pick. This is a coin flip.
Yeah,
really, truly.
They're playing at Ole Miss.
They're playing at Ole Miss.
It's
and I saw Vandy in person a few weeks ago when they played Arkansas. They got swept. But it's a Tim Corbin club. It's just, are they going to swing it enough?
Yeah, right.
And they had Brody Johnston against Georgia in game 2.
This
He had
is old
7
school,
ribbies.
Old school Tim Corbin team. For
Dude,
a while, they had everything. They could throw it and they could swing it. They had some good offensive guys. When they were really good early on, when he was there, it was we're going to throw the shit out of it and we're just going to hit just enough.
They still throw the shit out of it.
No doubt.
That's
what
the
I mean.
thing.
Old school Tim Corbin
pitch
team.
play defense. Can you just hit enough?
Right. All right. Ole Miss, Vandy. Jay, Vandy.
I'm gonna go Ole Miss in this one. Vandy's surgeon, but when I look up and down that lineup, and I look at things like this, and I know he hasn't been necessarily there all year, and I think the kid's a really good player, and he's probably going to go on to be a really good pro player. I just don't see R.J. Austin as a guy that hits in your 3 or 4 hole, and he's kind of had to do that for them. And when he does, I just think you're getting less of him, and obviously you don't have enough thump throughout the rest of the lineup. So when I look at that lineup, it's very hard for me to sit here and say that you can consistently put up runs with that. Now, I know they've been able to do well on the mound. They got a good staff. I just see Ole Miss winning at home in this.
Is R.J. Austin still sitting on 1 home run? You pull that
I
up?
believe so.
You realize it was the
and
first at
he's
bat of
having
the
a down
season.
year as well, too.
You realize that was the first at bat of the season for him.
Yeah. Yep.
Hell of a player, though. R.J. Austin. He is a freak in the outfield.
No, exactly.
He's a
That's
freak
what
out
I
there.
said. I'm saying nothing about him as a player, but I think we know if we're telling the truth in our heart of all hearts, he shouldn't be hitting in that 3 hole.
They don't have enough.
They just
pop.
don't have. Exactly.
They don't have enough pop.
He's got one.
Still. Texas A&M, Texas. You like
Going
A&M?
the Aggies, man. It's in the script.
I like
written.
A&M as well.
Hey, you lose. Listen, when you lose the Big 12 Player of the Year in Blue, you lose the guy that's been your Friday night starter. And now you're trying to put this all together right now against this hot ass team that's coming in with just piss and fire. Nah, give me A&M in this one.
And I think the baseball
now we get
gods,
to see what Texas can terms of coming back and putting together.
I've got nothing against Schloss personally, anything, whatever. I was very critical of him last year when everything went down. I think the baseball gods are going to give it to A&M. I don't see Schlossnagle getting it against his old team. I think
like
A&M, they'll both be fired up. This is going
Wish
to be
it was at A&M, though.
Well, for Schloss's sake, it's probably a good
No
thing
doubt.
it's not, just for
No
his protection. But
Texas
there's
only plays at home.
Yeah.
They have gotten all their
that's been the talking point. But it is true. I mean, you're playing all these top 10 teams at home, and they've taken care of business. Give all credit to them. But I know LSU fans were fucking fired. What is it? It's 4 straight series. LSU's had to go to Austin, I think it is. I believe, if you look at the history, LSU's had to go to Austin repeatedly. Attaboy. Nice.
Yeah,
good save.
I got it.
Still got the hands.
Yep,
Yeah,
got it.
I don't know. I think Jay Mitch is right. Losing Jared Spencer, you were able to get around the Max Ballou loss, but at some point it's going to come to a head.
Yeah.
You lose your ace.
That's tough.
Prager legacy game.
Yep,
Yeah.
I like it. All right, and then LSU-Tennessee. I mean, I think I'm taking LSU, obviously.
I mean, fuck it.
Jared took Tennessee. I mean, Jared took who did he take? He took LSU to lose a series earlier in the year, and it worked out. Or was it last year?
Let the man speak for himself.
That was last year, and I'm taking them to lose this one too.
Hey!
Hear me out when I say
Hey!
this. Hear me out when I say this. Hear me out. This will be a very well played series, no doubt about it. You're going to see very good baseball played on both sides of both dugouts, right? Here's what I do think happens, though. This is the one that kind of wakes this team up a little bit. This is the one that kind of lets them know you ain't where you think you are, and there's another extra level you need to get to. I think they lose this series. I think they shut down and they stop the shit that's been going on in A&M. When they go there next week, I think they get that win. I think they bring back and come back home and they beat an Arkansas team at home, and I think they end the season on the road beating, maybe even sweeping a South Carolina team. That's what I see happening after this one, but make no mistake, I think this is going to be a very good played series. I think they lose this.
All right.
Tennessee,
It's not a bad pick.
situation. Yeah, once we just talk about last situation with the other team, like, do you really see Tennessee losing 3 series in a row?
Well, 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. 3 out of 4. Because they had
I
a
got that on this one.
Yeah.
No, it's a good pick. It is a good pick.
I'm not saying you're
Jay
wrong.
Mitch, does it come down to Sunday, you think?
Yeah, I guess you can say it comes down to Sunday, but it also, to me, like I alluded to earlier, how's this one go? Like, if you can't get to that bullpen early and you allow them to have all those arms available and fresh and you get to Saturday and Sunday, where are you at that point? Because Marcus Phillips has been really good on Saturday. So if you allow this guy to stay in the game long and Marcus Phillips can go 5+ on Saturday, can you do it at that point? Like, that's kind of where I'm at in this situation. So it's going to be a great series. I think tonight, and then obviously how long probably the starter can go even on Sunday are the two things that are like really going to swing this series in my opinion, if you will.
Yeah, I'll be in the number tonight. I'll be in the number tomorrow night. I'm looking very forward to that. Actually, I'll be in the number tomorrow during the day and at night. So it should be nice and lubed up for the game. Very excited about it.
You and I might be on the same level.
Yeah.
The Zen's a good start.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
It feels great.
Feels great. Now,
Feel very loose.
Yeah.
Very loose.
Happy.
Feel like I could go in relief if I needed to.
There you go. I could not, but nobody wants to see me on the mound. That's for damn sure. All right, Lloyd.
Hello.
You want to get to our seggy? So we do some segments.
Okay.
All right. I'm throwing this. This is you're not prepared for this. We do mistake of the day, right? Which Lloyd finds something that happened, whether it doesn't have to be in the sports world, anywhere. Which you can imagine we get some wild things that gets thrown on here. And then we got curtain calls. It's the end of the show with something good. Curtain call to whatever you want to give it to. And that's how it goes. Okay. You can either participate or not participate in the curtain call.
Dude, I'm in. What do you mean?
Right,
come on now.
I just throwing you on the spot. Didn't know if
Dude, listen, I'm never prepared. I just
sometimes we don't have a curtain call.
I'm a very off the rip.
A lot of times we don't have a curtain call. But we figure it out. All right, mistake of the day.
Do a